husband is a handsome man with 8-pack abs. What was that experience? The woman's nosebleed is about to spray out. Just now, SK decided to have sex with him tonight. Instantly, the woman is excited. Really? Is it really tonight? Is that me going to your room or am I waiting for you in your room? I'm not finished. The man immediately gagged him, let him go back and pack up without having to do anything. Soon night falls. Ruby took a shower and lay in bed. The moonlight tonight is so beautiful. I don't know if my husband will come. As long as they get through the night, it's basically impossible for that perverted brother to ruin his marriage. Ruby waited and prayed to God. Please protect me. Let me take him down. While he was babbling, here comes the man. Are you asking yourself to go to bed first? Really see a man? Ruby is a little unpredictable. Look at his expression. SK asked again. Have you really thought about it? After getting a positive answer, the man slowly took off his clothes. My parents, this is too exciting. Ruby's heart is beating wildly. I unconsciously grabbed the sheets. Don't be nervous. I'm not skilled after all. Ruby turned his head shyly. The man's big hands gently wrapped around his waist. The slender fingers ran across the woman's thin lips. Don't bite your lip? That's what I do. Ruby's mind buzzed. Do you just feel like you're going into a coma? Is he really an ascetic? As the clothes fade away, SK was surprised to find there are hideous scars on his back. Ruby had forgotten about it. After all, it's not about making them happy as a couple. As a result, the man's face changed immediately when he touched it. He asked in a low voice what was going on. Ruby panicked. He lied. He said he was playing with his brothers and sisters again, accidentally caused. But this pair has been fighting on the battlefield all year round. It's a lie to a man. He was silent for a moment. Dress well for women. It seems that I don't plan to continue. Perceived Ruby, but one stride rode on him. He had a hard time waiting for this opportunity. Did I do something wrong again? Or are you unhappy? But he was interrupted before he could finish speaking. SK asked him if there were any other scars on his body. At this moment, Ruby hesitated. He really wants to confess to a man, tell his past, explain the origin of these scars. But he's still not sure if a man can be trusted, so he chose to save his life again. Little did he know that SK already had the answer in his heart. He was lying on the other side of the bed. Didn't go any further. Facing Ruby's doubts, his answer was, I think another day would be better. When Yi Ben thought it was a natural couple, I didn't expect it to end like this. Ruby lies in a man's arms. He felt both at ease and sad. Slowly pick up the man's big hand. Will I die at this hand in the future? And he tucked him in. Gently took a fool. If her husband could be as indifferent to him as his family, he can take it in stride, but treat it with such care. Instead, it made him feel indescribable. Morning. Ruby just opened his eyes. I found my husband staring at him. Don't tempt me in the morning. Now he's awake. SK gets up and gets dressed. Decided to have breakfast with a woman. Lunch together in the future. And after dinner they go to the temple. Ruby froze. Did his balloon work last night? His straight husband finally accepts him as his wife. To protect themselves, even without the final step, I also want to go to the temple. To prevent him from being harassed by the public. Thinking so, Ruby panicked even more. It doesn't do any good for men to do this. Does he like me? Everything is going in the right direction. I just wasted last night's opportunity. He is unwilling. Next time he must be more proactive. But here comes the person who shouldn't be there again. Freya pretended to be happy. Obviously he came to find fault on purpose. But he said he was visiting relatives. He also brought his brother and a group of knights. Something was wrong with the atmosphere. Then came the sound of footsteps. A group of people who were arrogant and domineering just now. The fire went out in an instant. Xiaoxi stands on both sides. Ruby's face was full of doubts. Husband suddenly appeared from behind. He stared at the wreath in his wife's hand with stinging eyes. Ruby smiles like a flower. This is made just for you. SK despised, while concerned about his dirty hands. The intimacy of the two made Freya uncomfortable. Hesitated for a moment. Put your hand on the man's shoulder again. An off-key joke. In fact, I want to pretend to be clean in front of Ruby. When he mentioned his brother Roland, Freya said to herself again, his brother offended the lady before, so today I sincerely apologize. The hell? Ruby see this little trick? Woman flipped her hair. What are you talking about? Don't understand at all. This caught the siblings by surprise. Who was Freya? Largest green tea in the show. Listen to his brother's words. Angry for my wife. Ruby didn't care about it at all. Freya can't get off the stage. Roland immediately came forward. Anyway, he had to apologize today. Ruby scolded her mother in her heart for selling batches, but want to give them to mouths. Husband, possible for him to be wronged. Hence, so scared that he hid behind his sister. My wife say it's okay. On again. Are you sure you're okay? Cern confuses Ruby. Then stuttered, the back of his hand to his forehead. A cold last night. Stood and watched. And how jealous you are. Princess hug. Ruby in my arms. Round and leave. Come to the door to apologize next time. They leave without looking back. Pissed off the green tea lady. Is that woman robbing me? Experience of looking up to your wife as a daughter. Dirty on her shoes. Down and gently take off his wife and run away. Slow down. Falling. Wronged. Gonna kill you. Oh, that stinky face. A relationship a big step forward. Ruby miss it. Opportunity like this. It's been directly on the cheek. Around and shoot to death on the spot. White-clad classrooms looked at them blushing. A sacred place. And if thing shamed into the temple for so long, Bishop is still worried that something is wrong. Overthinking now. Speechless. Be not bound by traditional etiquette. It clear that he wanted to protect his wife. The archbishop pointed the finger at his wife. woman again and never came to the temple. His wife's health is not very good. I will visit again soon. There will be a baby soon. The two men smiled. Eating, stinky face of the great priest next to you. Didn't like Iske very much. King's nephew, after all, has always been at odds with the royal family. Ace, the temple will hold a charity event. Bishop invited Reuben to attend, directly in front of his wife. Wants to participate. Bishop was very unhappy. Way to refuse. Day of the event soon. Curious about this fountain? To chat with her husband alone. And as the husband appeared, he was surrounded by the crowd. Bishop found him, looking forward to Huang Min's arrival. Did in Romana as a child and could not return home. Monastery where the Pope lived that took him in. He was mentally prepared. Person is an undercover family agent. It's a tricky thing, is that. Queen Freya also participated in the event. Famous paintings here. Only preference of the Duke. Suggested that Ruby buy a pair for his father-in-law. Idea is good. What comes out of the mouth of this green tea? Thing is that Ruby is poor. Understand. Still pretends to be enthusiastic. Romana is a mecca for painting. And shifts the topic. Sit with his brother. Find one for my sister-in-law. Lady Eyes. Mother was very well connected. Sister-in-law asked him to do it. Used in her heart. To miss this opportunity. Very enthusiastic. Believe something went wrong. Started spewing blood. Out unconscious. Committed suicide. Purpose. If this man loves her. Framed his wife as a murderer. Pushed his wife away. At him with cold eyes and telling him to go away. Man in your arms. Frozen place. Stuck in midair at a loss. Heated. Get out. The companion while treating. Felt on the ground and trembled all over. Sister-in-law looked at him was also complicated. Did Ruby notice the blood stain on her sleeve? Hurry. To the day my sister died. A roar of anger is you. Full force brought him to the ground. What? Be like this. Hands on the back of the neck to strangle him. The yellow hair on the side discovered this scene. The boy to let go of the lady. For him to rush over. Sent him flying. Father arrived just in time. Son from going crazy. Dies to the woman. Ruby is the Pope's daughter, to create this future in front of so many people. At that time, there was an explosion of thunder in the sky. The area suddenly showed rolling demonic energy. Everyone was fleeing, all huddled up in pain. In 10 minutes since I started shipping, went all his efforts. When I think of my husband's cold eyes, Huang Mao came to him in time. Restrictions on men and women giving and receiving. Poison sleeve. To a safe area. A huge monster appeared outside the temple. Stupid. The monsters in the temple. Vibration was completely messed up. Leah saved her life. No clue about the poisoning. The public asked Ruby what he thought about it. Was acutely aware that she was suspecting him. Should be for Miss Freya. And drank the wine and were fine. It wasn't poison in his drink. Stone solution. To the Archbishop. Magic stones in the temple. Understands? Everyone now thinks murderer behind it. The management of magic stones is very strict. Be obtained with the approval of the Pope. Daughter of the Pope. Speechless. Nothing to do with Freya's poisoning. Mother-in-law believe it? Idly. The man said, accuses you of being a murderer. Tolerate it. Or my daughter-in-law. Think you would do such a thing. Stunned. Buried his head in his chest and cried. Don't know what to say. Think I'm the ultimate Freya. Paragraphs. Daughter-in-law crying. In-law panicked instantly. Handkerchief and take a stand again. Him. Patient is special. And ask if he knew anything. Yan. My daughter-in-law. Helped me. Mother-in-law left. Ruby lost in thought. Very well. And the entire imperial capital would believe him. Here. Sent by the enemy to nuke relatives. Ruth. His enemy? Big stones on the black market. The opportunity to kill him? Blackpot Cup is too wronged. It's his father's hands and feet. Don't use magic stones either. Revealing thing. Trying to frame him? Freya was born. X will be on him. If it's from that. S. Who loves him so sick. Uses to provoke my relationship with my husband. Also take the opportunity to break the marriage. And continue to be a plaything in his hands. Her husband. Remember those cold eyes. Wants to know what he is doing now. Freya's side? Hand and comforting him. Very sorry. Being so nice to me. Opportunity to hurt Freya. He couldn't help crying again. My body started to suffer from colic. Water glass by the side. Take a sip and go to bed. I noticed something was wrong as soon as I entered. Enough overturning rivers and seas in the stomach. From the beginning. Palpable vomiting. Particles in the glass that haven't fully melted yet. When punishing Freya. Emily envied him so much. Emily is on his side. Law doesn't know when. Right behind him. Ruby turned back. Pushed him against the wall. Doing this. Long-term vomiting. Anorexia. Height mark on his index finger. It was never even discovered by his family. First day he got married here. Law became suspicious of his hands. Saw Ruby vomiting again. But rush up. Why are you doing this? Racked attention? The food in my house. Her body. Die so much. In peace. This method. Screamed out loud. His mother was also anorexic. Long-term vomiting. He couldn't stand the torture and hanged himself. My sister-in-law just wants to care about him. He would follow in his mother's footsteps. Solidifies instantly. Scared silly by him. Tears in his eyes. Lies as her gaff. With me. He turned and left in a hurry. Night's conflict. When the two of them ate. Fear is a little awkward. Hawks. Ruby is leaving. And Law stopped him. It was poisoned. Wants to invite him to cooperate with the investigation. Ruby smiled again. I'll go. He returns to the temple. Bag beautiful memories of the two of them at that time. Helps me so much. Ask me. Already hates me. Be it. Just then arguing. To be Green Tea's younger brother Roland and his little assistant. Arguing about Ruby. Is upset. Vomited blood and nearly died. And actually said that Ruby was innocent. To think too much. Pretends to be harmless. His dirty heart. Up with his brother, being his sister of a man, has an unconventional love affair with his brother. Husband. Stan grabbed his clothes and was going to beat him, and has gone crazy. If he met that woman again, definitely tear his face apart. Word to Ruby's heart like a sharp knife. Her head. Unspeakable grievance in my heart. That someone already hates him to such an extent. Is dizzy. Tired. The grass. I just want to be quiet. A place for him in this world, to play his part. L was kind to him, unconsciously began to expect something different from this man, and pull himself out of hell. Late, Dad, her voice suddenly came. Monster Bubble that came to him. Bubble, I came to me on purpose. Both moved and wronged. So bad right now. Disease of the body began to attack again. He's his pain. Stretched out his little claws. It's about to elope. A little worried about your situation. I'd be happy for him to disappear. And soft hair. Leave. This time. Slept for a few days and nights. Face was haggard. Hair is dying of anxiety. Like this. Killer will be cold before he finds Iski. It's not their job to be the real killer in Gina. Aaron knew that it was not someone else who was poisoned by his impatience. But sweetheart Freya interrupted him, free to arrest people. Not because of Freya. Sup? Say weird things to him. Grabbed him. Mess. Heard the way Ruby looked at him that day. Plus eyes. In his mind. Disbelieve him. Sir hadn't been repelled that day. It's poisoned blood. A little bit of Ruby. Imagine what the consequences would be. Scars. Him away in a hurry. Leave that place to save his life again. You. Ruby I knew and understand. Sarah is still guessing. Ruby's family who poisoned it? Statement doesn't hold at all. Stupid. Something so revealing. So buy magic stones on the black market. Freya has a grudge with anyone. Did Huang Mao finally understand what happened to Iske? Did a murderer at all? The other party is the temple or the father-in-law's house. He framed his wife, of it without hesitation. Is Ruby at her? Iske blurted out, did not hesitate. Easy twisted trust. Couldn't believe it. Almost died. Childhood sweetheart Freya. He's so blatantly biased. And instant ran over screaming. It's not good. It's missing. Moment. On the other side, Lubai woke up from a cave. I opened my eyes. I was almost scared to death. Monster is eating not far away. To play dead. Leg was thrown in front of him. Few FLIs flying around on it. Nam. A heart-wrenching scream. Back in a hurry. Seen in front of him. He was so angry. And threw the horse's leg in the face of the big bird. Bubble snoring Bubble. Did Ruby realize that they were actually friends? His voice immediately turned around. Picked blue fruit. Froze. Eat. Be sad, right? Way. The two cuties with expectant faces. Thumbs up. Delicious affirmation. And the Bubble are happily hugged together. Bit exaggerated. Really cute. No yet. Already watching him outside. Ong. He's the witch. It's wrong. Has disappeared. Seeing his shoes here. It's all over the mountain with a human translator. Knew it. 4 days had passed. Can't find Ruby. Understand. Usually sits in front of and behind when she goes out. The time he was missing. Doubt. What is this? To blame. Bishop who invited him to meet. Different servant. Stir of the weird star that jumped on Freya. Poison little boy. Realized that it was all his fault. Ignorance that killed him. Brain. Plus sharp knives stabbed into his body. It's wrong. Late. Doubted the loyalty of his servants. Lee the maid. Did Irene as his own daughter. Really thought about it. It will. Ruby. The intruder. Brutally. Artie. Friend of the maid's self-imposed deception. Full for his sincerity towards the family. Go. It's wrong. Wrong. And corrected from the outset. Always been afraid of marriage. Afraid of being like my father. Laugh at him and his father. Jerk. Thing to say. Matter how you defend it. More than feeble self-comfort. Wants to show his pen. Any questions that are too late to ask him. Any things too late to say to him. Or thought. Friends. So much damage to Ruby. Realize that. Hate. Sentence the knights never said. Is dead. It's barren mountain. Left. Didn't want to give up. Hope is slim. He gives up. Save him anymore. His dead mother. Life to be alive. Can't remember what his mother looked like. Slept together. Vulnerability. Disappears. You. I can't lose him anymore. And called out to him. Come over. Poachers. You people have been talking nonsense. Met the witch. Has 2 mushrooms by his side. Cared and ran away. Human unify a mushroom. Carry. On witch. Knights to kill him. Rose. Ruby is blonde.